Picture this. You wake up at 3 in the morning, cotton-mouthed and disoriented in a pitch-black basement. Your eyes adjust to the darkness, and that's when you see it, a black mass in the corner, unmoving, watching you. And then it starts to move. What I did next saved my life, and possibly my friend's entire family. If you've ever felt that primal fear when something isn't quite right, you need to hear this story. Smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment below about your scariest late-night experience. Because what you're about to hear will make you think twice about sleeping in someone's basement. Let's dive in. It was supposed to be just another weekend with the guys. You know the routine, the kind of night you've had 100 times before. Familiar faces, familiar place, nothing out of the ordinary. We were all in our early 20s, about 23, 24, fresh out of college, but still holding on to those college habits. And our routine? Pre-game at Cody's house, hit the bars, come back, crash, rinse, and repeat. Cody's house was always the designated spot, and for good reason. He had this finished basement, the kind every friend group dreams of. Dark wood paneling, a big screen TV, comfortable couches, and most importantly, it was far enough from his parents' bedroom that we could be loud without bothering anyone. Not that we needed to worry much anyway. Cody's parents were cool. They understood that their 20-something son and his friends were going to drink and be idiots occasionally. As long as we were safe and respectful, they gave us space. That particular Saturday night, it was just the core four of us: Cody, Randy, Jake, and me. We'd done our usual pre-gaming ritual, music bumping, terrible jokes flying, everyone loosening up before we headed out. Someone called the Uber, and before we knew it, we were bar hopping through our small town's limited but lively nightlife scene. We started at the dive bars, you know the ones. Sticky floors, cheap drinks, pool tables that haven't been level since the Clinton administration. The kind of places where everyone knows everyone, and if they don't know you, they'll know you by the end of the night. Then we migrated to the dance bar, the place where the music's too loud for conversation and the lights are dim enough that everyone looks better than they actually do.
Hours blurred together the way they do when you're drinking. Shot after shot, beer after beer, laughing at jokes that probably weren't that funny but felt hilarious in the moment. But eventually, Cody and I hit that wall. You know the one, where the fun starts to fade and exhaustion creeps in, where another drink sounds less appealing than a pillow. Randy and Jake were still going strong, feeding off that second wind energy, but Cody and I exchanged that look. That silent communication that happens between friends who've known each other long enough. We were done. He called an Uber, and we left the other two to their night.
The ride back was quiet, both of us too tired for conversation, just watching the streetlights blur past the window. When we got to his place, Cody offered me the pull-out couch in the basement. I'd crashed there dozens of times before. It was comfortable, familiar, safe. He came downstairs with me to help set up the bed, pulling out the mattress from the couch frame. And because we weren't quite ready to call it a night yet, or maybe because the alcohol was still coursing through our systems, we decided to play a game of Madden. I've always been terrible at Madden, absolutely awful. No matter how many times I play, I can never quite get the timing right, never anticipate the plays correctly. Cody, on the other hand, could have gone semi-pro if Madden were an actual sport. He destroyed me, completely demolished me. And after that humiliating defeat, I had zero interest in a rematch. I was tired. The alcohol was wearing off in that uncomfortable way where you're not drunk anymore, but you know the hangover is waiting just around the corner. I just wanted to sleep it off before the inevitable headache and nausea set in. Cody said goodnight and headed upstairs, closing the basement door behind him. And then I was alone.
The basement plunged into darkness. Not complete darkness, but close. The only light sources were the glowing numbers on the cable box clock under the TV, the small red standby light on the TV itself, and this faint green glow emanating from a Heineken mini fridge on the opposite side of the room. That mini fridge had this low, constant hum, a white noise that I'd always found oddly soothing. It was the kind of sound that helped you drift off, like a mechanical lullaby. I settled into the pull-out couch, pulled the blanket up to my chin, and let the darkness and that gentle humming wash over me. Within minutes, I was out, knocked out like a baby. A drunk baby, but a baby nonetheless.
I don't know how long I slept. Time becomes meaningless when you're passed out from alcohol. But I woke up, and it was still dark. My mouth felt like I'd been chewing on cotton balls. That special kind of dry that only comes from a night of heavy drinking. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. I could barely move my jaw. I desperately needed water. And that's when I realized my stupid mistake. I hadn't brought down a bottle of water before going to sleep. It was upstairs in the kitchen. And the thought of getting up, walking up those stairs, getting water, and coming back down felt like an impossible journey. That conflict, desperately thirsty but desperately not wanting to move, is something every hungover person understands intimately. I tried to ignore it at first. I rolled over, hoping maybe I could fall back asleep and deal with the thirst in the morning. My eyes drifted to the Heineken fridge, and I briefly considered whether there might be a bottle of water in there. But I knew better. It was just alcohol, beer, and maybe some hard seltzers. Nothing that would actually help my cotton mouth. And then, for reasons I still can't fully explain, my eyes darted to the far corner of the room.
At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. That happens in the dark, right? Your brain fills in shadows, creates shapes that aren't really there. I blinked hard, trying to clear my vision, waiting for my eyes to adjust better. But the longer I stared, the more certain I became. There was a black mess in that corner, a shape I'd never noticed before in all my time staying in that basement. It was a person. Someone was standing in the corner of the basement, watching me, in the dark, while I slept. The amount of self-control it took not to scream in that moment was absolutely insane. Every fiber of my being wanted to bolt upright, to yell, to run. But some survival instinct kicked in, some primal part of my brain that calculated my options and realized that panicking could get me killed. I didn't think it was Cody just messing with me. The height was all wrong. This figure was tall, taller than Cody. And the stillness, there was something predatory about it, something wrong. My heart was hammering so hard, I was certain this person could hear it. Adrenaline flooded my system, instantly sobering me up. My mind raced. How do I get out of here without this person knowing I've seen them? How do I get upstairs and alert Cody and his family without getting attacked? After what felt like hours, but was probably only a couple of tense minutes, I formulated a plan. I had to act natural. I had to make this person think I was completely oblivious. So I sat up slowly, stretching and fake yawning as if I was just waking up naturally. I even added a little groan, the kind you make when you're stiff from sleeping on a couch. Then I started muttering to myself, not too loud, just loud enough that it seemed natural. So thirsty. Why didn't I bring water down here? Stupid. I was creating a believable narrative. Just a hungover guy annoyed at himself for not preparing better, about to go upstairs for water. Nothing suspicious. Nothing that would make this person think I'd noticed them. I swung my legs off the couch and stood up, still muttering complaints about my dry mouth. My body was screaming at me to run, but I forced myself to walk casually toward the stairs. And here's the absolutely terrifying part. To get to the stairs, I had to walk closer to that corner, closer to that figure. Every step felt like it took an eternity. I could feel their eyes on me, could sense their presence getting closer as I moved toward the stairs. I started climbing slowly, normally, one step at a time, still maintaining the act, still pretending everything was fine. Just a thirsty guy getting water. But when I was halfway up,
Curiosity, or maybe that same survival instinct, made me glance back down into the basement. The black mass had moved.
It was now at the bottom of the stairs. I could see the silhouette clearly now. It was definitely a person, watching me climb. I almost tripped as terror seized my legs, but I forced myself to keep going, faster now, taking the stairs 2 at a time. When I reached the top, I slammed the basement door shut behind me and immediately started running up the second flight of stairs to the upper level where Cody's bedroom was. I burst into his room, shaking him awake, my voice urgent and loud.
Cody! Cody, wake up! There's someone in the basement! You need to wake up your dad right now! He was groggy, confused, probably thinking I was drunk and messing with him. And that's when we heard it. Slam. A door slamming from downstairs. See? I yelled. That's them! That sound galvanized Cody into action. Whatever skepticism he'd had vanished. We ran to his parents' room, and I explained to his dad that there was someone in the basement. I'll never forget the look on his face. Instant alertness, instant protective mode. He didn't ask questions, didn't hesitate. He jumped out of bed and ran down both flights of stairs, Cody and I following behind. When we got to the basement door, it was wide open. I shut that door, I said, my voice shaking. I closed it when I came up.
Cody's dad yelled for Cody to call the cops immediately. While Cody was on the phone with 911, his dad and I noticed something else. The back door to the house was now open. This person had fled through the back door. The 3 of us searched the basement thoroughly, then moved to the backyard, the front yard, neighboring yards. We were looking everywhere, flashlights cutting through the darkness, while Cody described everything to the 911 operator. We searched for about 15 minutes before the police finally arrived. They did a full sweep of the property and the surrounding area, took our statements, and filed an official report. By the time they finished, it was early morning. Some neighbors had woken up and come outside, asking if everything was okay. By that point, I was completely sober, stone cold sober, and absolutely terrified. I wanted to go home more than I'd ever wanted anything. As soon as the cops left, I went inside, talked with Cody and his family for a bit about what happened, thanked them, said goodbye, and called an Uber. Cody offered to drive me, but I refused. I just needed to be out of there. I worried about them that night, about whether this person might come back, about what could have happened if I hadn't woken up, about what this person's intentions were. We never found out who that person was. The police never caught them. No fingerprints, no leads, nothing. Just a terrifying encounter that could have ended so much worse. I still went to Cody's house for pre-games and hangouts after that night. We were still friends, still the same group, but I never slept in that basement again, ever. The feeling in that space had changed for me completely. Every time I went down there, even with all the lights on and people around, I'd glance at that corner where the black mess stood, and I'd remember that moment, the absolute terror of realizing someone was watching me sleep, the calculated escape, the figure at the bottom of the stairs. That basement became a different place after that night. The same room, the same furniture, the same mini fridge humming away, but it would never feel safe again. Sometimes the scariest moments in life aren't about elaborate revenge or dramatic confrontation. Sometimes it's just about trusting your instincts when something feels wrong, keeping your cool under unimaginable pressure, and making it out alive to tell the story. If this story sent chills down your spine, smash that like button and subscribe for more true stories that'll keep you up at night. Drop a comment below. Have you ever had a moment where you knew something was wrong but had to stay calm? What would you have done in my situation? Share your stories and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe out there, everyone.